Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV. Just seen Manchester City beat RB Leipzig by 3-2 in the Champions League group stages. City have now won all 5 of their games. And wow, what a game. What a game, guys. What a game. You know, RB Leipzig were superb. Gotta say that. For most of that game, they were brilliant. They kind of fell away in the last 30 minutes when City started to get on top. But wow, you got to give them tremendous credit. They really were fantastic. Quite a few excellent players. Xavi was really good. Openda was fantastic. Those two attacking players really caused City a lot of trouble, a lot of problems. And if truth be told, City, I think we're very lucky to get away with that 3-2. You could argue we had more chances, more shots on goal than RB Leipzig. But, you know, I think, yeah, you know, they could have scored maybe another goal or two. We were fortunate a bit to get our goals, and we were lucky to, excuse me, finish the game with 11 men on the pitch. So got a bit of lurgy and I missed the game tonight. I've just not been well enough since I came back from Northern Ireland on Sunday. Best part of 2 days in bed, but hopefully I'm going to be back at it. I've got another gig tomorrow, so hopefully get rid of some of this cough by overnight. But anyway, I'll go through what happened in the game and then give my opinions along the way. As I said, I think watching that first half, RB Leipzig were 2-0 up at half time. They were by far the better team in that first half. The City, we still had some excellent chances with Lewis and Haaland both hitting shots over the bar. They should have done much, much better. To be honest, I thought we should have scored 2 goals with those 2 opportunities. But it was a bit disappointing from both players. Still young players. I mean, Lewis is 19, Haaland's 22. But you've got to be hitting the target. And realistically, from the distance they were out from goal, you hit the target, you should be scoring. Now, Leipzig was so dangerous on the break. At times, they pressed very high up the pitch, high energy, determination. They didn't give us a second of breathing space. And whenever City were not precise with the control and the passing, Leipzig pounced. They were all over us, and they really came to give it a go. If you remember, it wasn't so long ago. It was in the spring, wasn't it, that we beat them? Was it in the spring? Oh, last year we beat them 7-0. At our place, 7-0. I think that's our worst defeat, certainly in the Champions League. But anyway, so, you know, they got 2 first half goals. Both of them came from defensive errors. Great play from Openda. You can't take anything away from him. He did what he had to do. But we kind of helped. We really kind of helped him. Now, we've not kept a clean sheet. We've only kept 5 clean sheets in 21 games. That is really poor. There's a problem there. You know, we're giving goals away. So-called, you know, world-class defenders aren't always playing world-class, apart from one fellow. I'll tell you that is in a minute. Now, Pep went, I forgot to tell you this, but Pep went with a really strong side. I thought he would. I think the only, I wouldn't say second team player, because he's just played for England, is Rico Lewis. So he was the only person really the big change. And obviously the goalkeeper, Ortega Moreno, was in for Big Edison. So yeah, those first 2 goals. Well, first one, Akanji, he played Openda on, I think it was Akanji played Openda onside, or it might have been Diaz played him onside, but Diaz was, you know, it wasn't his man to mark. But Akanji should have been closer to the fella. I don't know how we were defending at times, or up near the halfway line. Akanji should have been closer to the fella. Openda did a little nudge on Akanji, or was it the other way around? Maybe Akanji was hoping his little nudge would work. It was very similar, let's say. If you remember that League Cup final, City versus Arsenal, when Sergio Aguero just stood his ground and let I can't remember the Arsenal defender back into him, and Aguero was there. It wasn't a foul, and the guy was blocked off because he ran into Aguero. So it's very similar here, and it was very poor from Akanji. Openda raced clear. I think Ortega, I don't know what he was doing. You know, he went down very slow for his dive. The ball was past him before he even dived. You can argue, you know, it's very hard to say 1v1s, but I think he could have done better. May still not have been able to prevent the goal, but I think he could have done better. And, as I said, he went down late, the ball was slipped past him, and 1-0. Not too long later, was it 20 minutes later or something? Diaz was done on the half line. Now, that was really, really poor defending. That was, I think, by Openda again. He did Diaz. And Diaz it was really poor. Openda's got the beating of you. He's got the legs on you, okay? And Diaz made a challenge trying to nick the ball in front of Openda near the halfway line. It was out wide, and he didn't win it. I mean, Openda turned him, and he was gone, and no one was catching him, really. And that was really poor from Diaz, because I think what you should have done was just stood him up, let your other defenders come back. Now, Gvardiol come legging it back, trying to get to Openda, and I think Gvardiol sold himself. He let Openda cut inside, and then he wrong-footed Ortega Moreno. No chance for the goalkeeper. You can't blame him at all. But really poor defending, I think, from Akanji and from Ruben Diaz. Now, Diaz was lucky. Because he'd got a yellow card, and he went in on, might have been Openda or Xavi, he went in on, and I think there was a dive from the attacker. I think this was in their half, and he was lucky. I mean, I think most referees would have given a yellow card. If he wasn't on a yellow card, he'd have got a second yellow card. He'd have been off. This was just before half-time. And Pep did the right thing at half-time, took him off. But RB Leipzig looked absolutely fantastic in the first half. They're playing a style of football that is a joy to watch with love. And I was watching that first half, and I'm thinking, that's the kind of manager you want at your club. With those players, he's doing so well. And you just think to yourself, he could do well after Pep's gone. But hey, Pep's still got hopefully another 2 or 3 years at City. Now, City were under pressure. Okay, we still created some good chances. Haaland, I thought he was bang average with his finishing in that first half. Grealish didn't out for me. And as I said, Diaz was lucky to avoid a second yellow card. But overall, I think the ref actually was pretty good. He let the game flow, didn't give any soft free kicks away, and got on with the game. Anyway, half-time, much needed change. Aki was on for Diaz at half-time, and first chance Openda had going at Aki. Aki dealt with him. Aki, I mean, for me, last season and the season before, he was one of our best defenders, and it would be really harsh for him to be consistently dropped, because obviously Johnny Stones is coming back as well. For Aki to be dropped for Gvardiol or anybody, because Aki is doing really, really well. Still looks a class act. He might not create too much, but we saw at the weekend he can create. He might not create too much, but defensively he is pretty sound. Now, second half, Doku come on after about 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes of the second half. Much needed. I don't think Grealish, he didn't have the guile or the pace for what this game needed. Alvarez came on for Walker. I think we switched to properly 3 at the back. And then after 54 minutes, Foden puts the ball through to Haaland. And finally, Haaland scores. Made it 2-1 after 54 minutes. Game back on. Doku always looking dangerous. And I was screaming at the telly, pass the ball to Doku, pass it to Doku. But City was stepping it up, speeding it up. And Leipzig were having fewer opportunities to have a go at us. And eventually, I thought we would score. I really did. There's some games you watch and you think, I can't see us getting a goal here. I can't see how we're going to do it. But I think you could see from the pressure, especially with Doku, we're moving that ball around much quicker, much sharper, a lot more urgency in our play. After 68, 69 minutes, Gvardiol passes to Foden. Nice pass to Foden. Foden took it really well. Lovely feet. Shimmied with his feet past the defender, who should have been a bit tighter to him. And he slipped it home through a defender's legs. Goalkeeper really didn't have a chance. Foden hit it crisply, and obviously the defender was in the way as well. So 2-2, game definitely on. Plenty of time to score a winner for City. And then Leipzig go ahead, and Carvalho scores on the break. Very poor defending from City, but very lucky. It was called offside. But it was shocking defending. I think we were 3-on-3 or something, and we were poor again at the back. So easy to basically break on us and deceive us and get goals. But we were lucky there. Game carries on. 86th minute, Doku passes it through to Foden, who knocks it onto Alvarez. I thought he'd taken too long. He took an extra touch, but then he manages to slam it home, and City end up winning 3-2. A couple of chances still for the game to, during the game. But City prevailed. I think, we haven't lost at home since 2018, 5 years now. I think is it 10 home wins on the bounce, something ridiculous like that. Overall, you got to be happy to get 3 points. We were already through. We've got to keep that momentum going, but the frailties are there. The weaknesses are there for everybody to see. As I said earlier, 5 clean sheets in 21 games is not good enough. We give up plenty of chances. We are slow at the back. Openda was a nightmare for us today. Xavi was really good. I think he's on loan from PSG. I'd take either of those two players right now. Either of them. Openda just looked fantastic. The way he dealt with us was incredible. But where would he play? And if he's playing out on the left, well, what's going to happen to Doku? But obviously, we've got 2 wings. So, someone like him, what he did tonight was fantastic. What Leipzig did tonight was fantastic. I'm going to look at the positives of what they did. It's great for City to come back. It's great for City to come back into the game and come back and win it from 2-0 down at half time. But Leipzig really played their part. I really enjoyed that game. I think any neutral would have loved it. City fans would have enjoyed the result. Even Leipzig, they put to bed that 7-0 drubbing that we handed out to them not too long ago. And they put on a really fantastic display, and total credit to them. Fantastic game. I wish I was there. Really gutted that I'm just not well enough, guys. At the moment, fingers crossed. I'll get to some games back when we get into December. I'll get back to some games again before the turn of the year. Well, guys, there you have it. City beaten Leipzig by 3-2. We are top of our group in the Champions League, 15 points out of 15. We're going through as group winners, which is great because obviously you're going to play the team that finished second in another group, and hopefully they're not the best team, in that group, and gives a slightly better chance, a bit of an advantage to get through to the following round. Guys, if you're new to the channel, it would be fantastic if you could subscribe. We've just hit 12,000 subscribers. I think that was last week. Fantastic. And thanks to everybody who subscribed and watches the videos. If you hit that bell icon, you'll be notified as soon as new videos come out. We'll see you around, Blues.